So last week we covered the Yin Yang, and if you haven't watched that video, then click here. If you have watched it, then hopefully you've started to embrace the differences in your life between you and your partner, you and your friends, you and the world. You've also started to embrace change as something that's natural and not something to be feared. And finally, you've begun to understand that there's nothing fundamentally wrong with you, that you're okay and you have the ability to find balance. Now that last point is what we're going to cover in today's video, and it's probably why you're watching this series. Certainly for me, it's why I came out here to try and find peace and tranquility in my mind and to become a more balanced person. It's such an important topic, in fact, that we're going to cover it over many videos. But I thought let's ease ourselves into the water first by starting with some practical tips that we can all apply to our own lives by the end of this video. So here are 4 tips from Master Gu to becoming a more balanced person.
First aspect, here you see what I call heavenly way. So this is the yin yang balance of our daily life. The daytime belongs to yang, while the night belongs to yin. Yang is yang, yin is yin. We human beings must follow this natural law. I suggest the time to get up is from 5 a.m. to 7, because between 5 and 7, that is the active period of large intestine. So this is just very good for you to get up, to do the exercise. So in the morning, we can do the morning walk to shift from yin to yang.
We've all been there when the alarm goes off in the morning and you're lying in bed and you just don't want to see the world. And I've had quite a few of those mornings here. But this advice is really helpful. If you just put your shoes on, put on some warm clothes and get out the house for just a 10-minute walk, you suddenly feel so much more energized. It's about bringing your yin, sleepy energy into the yang, into the day and into the energized. So you can choose what you want to do on that walk. Here we do meditative walking, so that is just trying to keep your concentration on the world around you and trying to enjoy the nature around you, or if you're in the city, then seeing where nature crops up, or even just the amazing spectacle that a city is. Or you can think about what you've got to do that day. Either way, it will make you feel great having accomplished something that early in the morning. All you've done is stuck some shoes on and gone for a walk, but it really does make you feel great. So I highly recommend this one.
So this is our meal table. We've just had our lunch. The second aspect of yin-yang balance is something very important. Eating. 粗细搭配, which means apart from the refined food, we must make a good balance to have sufficient raw food with fiber. That's good for the movement of large intestine. Well, this is the balance about food, full, empty, but this is the amount. Are you full? Yes, I'm full. I'm very full. So many people, especially in the past, when life is hard, those rich people tend to eat a lot. So many got pot belly, which is not good in shape and also actually negative for health. Here we advocate the good balance is not 100%, let alone exceeding full. We advocate 饭吃8成饱. You better eat 80% full. So this is a good balance.
So what you eat is important, so getting a balance of protein and carbohydrates, cooked and uncooked food, as well as the colours on your plate. And how much you eat is important. So that 80% rule I found pretty hard here actually, because the food's so nice I just want to eat it all. But having that rule has made me conscious of trying not to overeat. And in today's society it's so easy to overeat and create health imbalances. So this is a really good rule for trying to keep balanced and healthy.
The secret of health lies in 2 sentences. 静下来, 动起来, which means tranquilized and exercise. So one needs both. So you should have sufficient in the meditative tranquility. Meanwhile, you should also be active in doing something. For the Western way of exercise, we would have the image of somebody, you know, in the gym, in the gymnasium, a huge room with many modern facilities. Oh, wow, they try to make a very, as one Westerner pointed out, ridiculously big muscle. So they quite much focus building up the physical part. So how about the Taoist practitioner? You see, they maintain very meditative, tranquilized, but they have enough exercise. So Tai Chi Chuan is the best form of exercise, combine both meditation and exercise together. This is a good balance, very, very good balance.
So first of all, you need to exercise to balance the yin of inactivity with the yang of action. Secondly, if you do exercise and do intense exercise, then you need to complement it with stretching and meditation to balance those internal energies. And then finally, just think about the balance of the exercise itself. So not all of you are doing steroids and becoming a bodybuilder, but for me, I was training for a marathon, didn't listen to my body, and then got a massive injury. So it's about listening to the body and being in balance with it. You know, you can have fun and games when you're young and then get knee problems and hip problems when you're older. So if you want to live healthily and be able to move well into your old age, you need to be conscious of these balances.
In Chinese, we say there's a phrase, 舍得, 舍得. 舍得 is actually adjective. If we say somebody, he's very 舍得, means he's very generous. He's very generous. He tends to give things to people. He's never mean to give people. So, like, he's very kind-hearted. But if we analyze the term 舍得, we found 舍得, generous, contains actually two words, 舍 and 得. 舍 means to give it away. 得 means to gain. So this is very interesting. There is some like a philosophy behind. It means to give. It's not just means you're losing something. In actual fact, or in long run, you can gain. So in order not to be such a terrible result of life, so you must have a really good balance of the wealth pursuing, possession, accumulation, and actually, be the manner to give, to help people, at least not so much greedy, so much ambitious to gain wealth.
I haven't got much to add to Master Gu's words. All I'd say is try making generosity your default position for today and see how much more receptive the world will be to you. It will almost be miraculous how many more opportunities and stronger relationships you make in that time. Right, that's it. I hope you found those tips helpful. Let me know in the comments which is your favourite, as well as how you could apply it to your own life. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and consider sharing. Master Gu and I would really appreciate it because we want to get that Taoist philosophy out to the world. Thanks for watching everyone. I'll see you next time.